Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this video. This is Teacher Mustafa, and today we have a new type of writing. It's called the balanced argument. Ready? Let's go. First, our agenda. We will know what is a balanced argument, parts of a balanced argument, and how to write a balanced argument. What is a balanced argument? A balanced argument is a piece of writing where you look at both sides of an issue before giving a conclusion. It presents the advantages, pros, and the disadvantages, cons, in a fair way without being one-sided. Key points about a balanced argument. It usually has an introduction, arguments for, arguments against, and a conclusion. The writer doesn't only support one side, both sides are explained. It uses facts, examples, or reasons to support each point. The conclusion often summarizes both sides and may give a personal opinion, but fairly. Parts of a balanced argument. Introduction. State the topic and that there are two sides. Pros, advantages. Explain why it could be good. Cons, disadvantages. Explain why it could be bad. Conclusion. Summarize both sides and give a balanced ending. Let's start an example and let's look at the introduction. We start off by a question, as you can see here, but I'll leave you to read it. I'll give you 1 minute. You may start. I guess you've read. So let's start. What does the paragraph start with? Yeah, correct. It starts with a question, and this is called a hook. Why do we start a paragraph with a question? To gain or to get the reader's attention. Let's read it together and think about it. Do you like video games? Video games have become a popular form of entertainment for people of all ages. Many students enjoy playing them after school, and adults also use them to relax because they are so common. Some people believe video games are helpful, while others think they cause problems. It is important to look at both sides in order to understand the real impact. So, we started with a question, then we gave some sentences, or let's say a sentence or two, about what are the video games. Then we said that some people think they are good, some people think they are bad. Let's look at both sides. And it's very important to mention that you're going to look at both sides. Let's start looking at the advantages or the pros. I'll give you 2 minutes to read this one, and then I will ask you some questions about it. Okay, I think you finished. Let's read together and let's think. On the one hand, video games can help players develop good problem-solving skills, because many games require quick thinking and planning. They can also improve hand-eye coordination, as players must react fast to what they see on the screen. Some games teach teamwork by encouraging players to work together to reach a goal. In addition, educational games can make learning more fun and interactive. Video games may also help people relax and reduce stress after a long day. Online games allow players to meet people from around the world, which can support social communication. Overall, there are many positive benefits when video games are used responsibly. So here, we started by a very important phrase, which is on the one hand. This is a very important phrase to include one type of an essay or one type of advantages. Why? Because when we use on the one hand, on the other side, we will use on the other hand. So we have two parts, the advantages, the disadvantages, the pros and the cons. And throughout this paragraph, as you can see, we included all the positive things. They can help player. It improves the word improve, which also has a positive meaning. The educational games can make learning more fun. That's positive meaning. Can help people relax. That's a positive meaning. It allows players to meet people. That's also positive. It can support, which is also positive. But let's go at the other paragraph. The argument against or the disadvantages or the cons. Take some time reading this. I guess you've read. So let's complete. We start this paragraph, disadvantages or the cons paragraph, with saying, on the other hand. This is the other side of the topic. As we mentioned before, the first side of the topic is called on the one hand, and now we're having on the other hand. On the other hand, video games can also have negative effects. Some people spend too much time playing and forget about homework, exercise, or sleep. Long hours in front of a screen can lead to eye strain and tiredness. Certain games may contain violence, which some worry could influence younger players. In addition, online gaming sometimes exposes players to rude behavior or unsafe conversations. Video game addiction is also a concern, as some individuals find it difficult to stop playing. These problems show that video games must be used with care. As you can see throughout the paragraph, it lists the bad thing or the negative things about video games. They spend too much time, forget the homework, eye strain, tiredness, violence, expose players to rude behaviors. There are game addictions. There is game addiction also. So it's difficult to stop playing. And at the end, he mentioned the problems. So after we finish the introduction, the advantages of the pros, the disadvantages of the cons, it's time for the correct. It's time for conclusion. Take 2 minutes or just 1 minute to read the conclusion. We'll discuss it. So, as our conclusion paragraphs, as our conclusion paragraph starts with in conclusion, and this is very important to start with in conclusion or to sum up or in summary. So it's very important to put one of these phrases. In conclusion, video games have both advantages and disadvantages. They can help people learn new skills and relax, but they can also cause health or social problems if used too much. In my opinion, we should play video games, but not too much. What is your opinion? So as you can see in the conclusion paragraph, it starts with in conclusion. So we have to put a phrase that includes, this is a conclusion, as in conclusion, to sum up, in summary. Also, we have to indicate that it has both things, advantages and disadvantages, pros and cons, and mention one pro and one con. Also, we have to put our own opinion. As you can see here, I said in my opinion. I can also say I think. I can also say I believe. We should play video games, but not too much. Then I shall end with a question, as I started with a question. But the question I end with is, what is your opinion? I leave the reader in a state of engagement or a state of thinking. Oh, what is my opinion? Yes, I agree or I disagree. Moving on is steps to writing a balanced argument. First, we choose a topic. Pick a subject that has two sides. Examples are video games, good or bad for children. Two, plan your points. Think of advantages, pros, and disadvantages, cons. Write down the facts, examples, or reasons for each side. Three, write an introduction. Introduce the topic. Mention that there are two sides to the argument. Keep it short, make it only 3 to 5 sentences. Write the pros, the advantages. Explain why the topic can be good or helpful. Give examples, reasons. Also state facts and write 5 to 7 sentences. Write the cons, disadvantages. Explain why the topic can be bad or cause problems. Also state facts, give examples or reasons. Write 5 to 7 sentences. Write a conclusion that summarizes both sides of the argument and gives a personal opinion if needed. Also keep it short, 3 to 5 sentences. Don't forget, in the introduction, to start with a question, and in the conclusion, to end with a question. It's very important in the introduction to start with a question, and in the conclusion, to end with a question. Also, in the conclusion, we start the conclusion paragraph with in conclusion, in summary, to sum up or to summarize. I hope you've learned so much today, and I hope you apply it as soon as you can. Love you very much and see you soon. Bye.